Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
All right, good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. You're welcome to Morning Spring for today. Morning Spring is where we look into everything important, having deep conversations about issues of public importance. Femi is my name. We're on the program. We look at the papers, a few headlines of what the major dailies are for us before we switch to talking with everyone and everything. We talk with everyone. We talk about everything that will make this nation a better place to live. By the way, work resumes today officially, especially the holidays are over. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What a time it was, for people that were involved, that enjoyed the largesse, so to speak. But then you should be on your way to work right now, especially if you're on morning duties. But then if you're inside your car, on your way to work, or you're at home, or you're online, this is Western Spring Television, channel 190 on Star Times, DTT. Also on YouTube at Western Spring Television. Once again, good morning. You're welcome, Evelyn.
Good morning, Femi.
Good morning.
Today.
Right.
Good morning, people. The holidays are over and it's time to work. Welcome on board. It's Tuesday, the second day in the month of April 2024. Right. We are indeed grateful to God for life. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, and I wish you a bright and beautiful day in all your activities today, at work or in school, wherever it is you are going to today.
Yeah, and there is this popular poem that say all things bright and beautiful, God made them all. Yeah. Quickly, we see what the papers are saying. The papers are in, but that will be after the short break. Don't go nowhere. All right, let me start from my end here, from the Daily Trust newspaper. This has to do with a very major concern of the people, from the business world to individuals, domestic use, corporate, big entity, talking about power and, the substitute, for some of this, especially the palliative, promised by the government and the direction in which they said they would work. And before we know what's happening, it's almost 10 months already in the life of this administration. Petrol subsidy removal, 10 months after federal government yet to roll out electric vehicles who are promised. Plans are in the pipeline, we'll get to it, this and that. But 10 months after, that's what the Daily Trust has this morning. And energy crisis, these are the riders. Energy crisis threatens project. Charging stations inadequate in states. Experts task governors on infrastructure. As far as Osun State is concerned, maybe my knowledge of what is going on is a bit rusty, but I can't pick anywhere, or I haven't had anywhere, that you could see as a designated center for charging in Osun State, either in Osogbo, in Ikire, or in Ilesha, or Ife, or whereabout. So maybe the plans are all going, but the Daily Trust is saying 10 months after, May 29th to, what's today, April 2nd, by next month, the 29th of next month, the government will have been 1 year in office. Wow, high time flies. So many of these promises, they must make true and make good. Of it, expert task governors on infrastructure, right? Moving on, 13 killed, 2 injured in Kogi auto crash. That's sad. Mega looters won't go scot-free. EFCC, you want to know the people designated as mega looters. Okay, how about minor looters or micro looters or mid looters looting at the public treasury? The FCC is saying you're going to go free. The will be on your trail. And bandits abduct 5-day-old baby and mother in Kaduna. What for? The Daily Trust asked that. 8 arrested as Unimed lecturer stabbed to death in office. These headlines are one of a kind this morning, but it is what's happening, no matter how sad it sounds. It is. Why will a lecturer be stabbed to death? Now we learned 8 suspects have been arrested. Top Street, war on Gaza. Anti-Netanyahu protest rock Israel. Okay, maybe, just maybe, it seems the policies and the direction of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, maybe is getting thin. You know, the goodwill he and that nation enjoyed for some persons when the war started. I think in a kind of way, the Americans are backing out, you know, telling him to just do some things. But there are many persons who say maybe it's because it's an election year for President Biden. And, you know, his policy might have, or his support or lack of support for Israel might have a thing to do with how the election will go later in the year. For him, Netherlands stopped Nigeria's export destination in Q4 2023. Good to see that we're at least trying. Wike Damagum's fate uncertain as PDP holds neck. That's the last one from this place. But you want to wonder, why should PDP want to have a convention or a neck meeting and the name of Yeson Wike will still be mentioned? Somebody working in this government is neither a rat or a bird, more like a bat somewhere. But then that's what the Daily Trust has for us this morning.
All right, from Daily Trust, we head on to The Punch newspaper for today. Discos make 1 trillion naira amid greed crisis. Unmetered customers hit 5.8 million. With riders, Discos grew revenue by 30% in 2023, overbilled customers despite grid collapses. Electricity tariff hike looms as FG raises gas price. NERC vows more sanctions over estimated bills. This particular sector is one that I think the government should look into. You know, the power sector. It's one thing that everyone, just like the fuel, it's one thing that everyone enjoys, just like the fuel. So we do not need the tariff hike if customers will not enjoy what they paid for. Away from that, we have that picture there with the caption, Easter, fun seekers flood parks, beaches amid tough times. You know, we have that photograph from Abuja, Lagos, with kids and their parents coming to have a great time at parks and beaches. And this just tells you that people just want to, you know, move away from the stress and bustle and hustle of the economy and just have a me time with your family. But Mr. is over and we're back to what they call hitting the ground running. Presidential nod, Ondo APC governorship aspirant besiege Abuja for Tinubu's endorsement. Please go after hoodlums for raiding night bus, robbing passengers. Zenith Bank extends win as Nigeria's best bank. And top strip of the Punch newspaper, the front page now, Tinubu African leaders grace Senegal president swearing in today. And OPEC oil output plunges as Nigeria, Iraq /exports. That story is on page 24 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And NAC sits over state police as governors plan forest guards. And lastly, from the Punch newspaper this morning, next governor's trial shows EFCC would not spare anyone. The EFCC chair is speaking, Ola Olukoyede. And that will be all from the front page of the Punch newspaper for today.
From the front page of the Punch, we move to the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper is next. Banks need 4.7 trillion naira to scale CBN's new capital hurdle. Banks need 4.7 trillion naira to scale CBN's new capital hurdle. And the writers here say no bank qualifies under new guidelines. ETI, Zenith, Access, First Bank lead in eligible capital. 7, qualify by adding retained earnings. No need to panic. ACAMB. All right, and just below that, you can visit First Lady. There's some young men or men here with Her Excellency Remi Tinubu, the First Lady of Nigeria. And below that, Okwama, how soldiers, villagers died. That's coming from Eyewitness, and the writers there associated with that particular headline. We have it. First says Bayelsa militant leader Amagbeni, not from Okwama. Another one says, note leader from Okoloba led the army to Okwama. Reveals the conspiracies and what transpired on March 14. Another writer says, allow Okwama to bury the dead. That's coming from the residents. Of course, since this issue happened, very sad one that stands condemned, Vanguard has been on this matter, coming out with reports of their own. And to a large extent, we've not seen the defense headquarters or the military hierarchy, speak to maybe these, or maybe they are too preoccupied now. But it seems maybe there is more. Certainly, there is more to what happened on March 14, But we just hope these can be, done with. Of course, we are not being insensitive because those that have died either on the military side, because we learned some residents too, lost their lives as well. That can bring back the dead, but then let us know what really happened on the day as fast as possible so that people can find closure and move on with their lives. And then the lessons or the reports, the findings there will help the nation, the state, the community, from, having such an occurrence again. And culprits must be brought to justice. Moving on with health salaries, we will shut down varsities if non-teaching staff, you want to wonder and say again, okay, no, you might want to pick up a copy of the Vanguard for that. London maiden flight, how we fought a restriction of airpeace return flight, rejected part of MMIA. Oyewumi, how we fought restriction of airpeace return flight, rejected part of MMIA. Why should they be directed to the rejected part? Okay, we don't know why, but that's on page 9 from Oyewumi. On the sporting scene, 2024 Olympics, only 2 Nigerians capable of winning medals. 6 Igali. Igali was formerly a world champion, global wrestler, talking about sports. Be speaking here that in 2024 Olympics, which comes up in the next few months, I think in Paris, only 2 Nigerians are capable of winning medals. Wow. Okay, we wait to see. Maybe he's talking about wrestling because we have many medal prospects. But what do I know? Moving on, Edoguba, chairman group Bika over Accord party's candidate. Really, Accord. Joins BSM gives party, INEC 7 days to drop Lere as flag bearer or face litigation rather. Lere remains our candidate. That's coming from Momoregbe and the chairman. Edo will reject godfathers in position at governorship poll. Yesufo. By the way, Edo no be Lagos. Usually be what people will remember. We know what happened at the last election as well. Police confirm robbers rob and set ablaze passengers' bus in Ogun. How evil can people be? Robbing them is not enough. Setting off the passengers' bus. Top strip, VP Shetima, CBN Governor Kadoso Ayo Teriba headline 2024 Vanguard Economic Summit. Labour Party crisis, Abure rejected P2B's advice for all-inclusive convention. Obidati spokesman. An energy crisis says more troubles for Gencos as federal government increases gas price by 11%. And on a lighter note, Mr. and Mrs. are ready. And Mr. is saying, I'm lucky to have you. if I come across ₦1 billion, I will give you everything, but let me know where you keep it, just in case I need some money. And Mrs. responds and says, since we are married, this is not your first lie, but the first creative one. Interesting. Creatively lying, according to Mrs. That's all from the front page of the Vanguard.
All right, from the Vanguard, we move over to Daily Independent. Daily Independent newspaper focuses on the gains of Naira this morning. Naira gained 660 Naira on $7 billion FX backlog clearance. BDC's return. And youth must align with government programs. Vision, says Oluremi Tinubu, that's the First Lady. And the picture there is children having a great time during the Easter period. You know, amazing. The holidays are over now, though. All right, moving on. Kaduna crisis.
But for pupils and students, the holiday continues.
But not all schools.
The session is over.
Not all schools.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not all schools. Some are still on.
Interesting.
But then we move on. Kaduna crisis. Suspended APC women leader berates governor, reveals how El Rufai made him senator. And with the rider here, Senator Shehu Sani thanks province for vindicating him. All right, the focus is shifting now to Kaduna State, you know, with all the whole brouhaha going on within the APC there. Nigeria among 16 countries with high anemia rates in girls. This is according to UNICEF. Tinubu attends swearing-in ceremony of Senegal's president-elect Faye. That's on page 7. And moving on, how gunmen set ablaze Ifesinachi bus with 59 passengers. Transporters send SOS to federal government. It's a sad one there. That story can be found on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And Obi takes one Nigeria message to Onitsha Mosque on Easter Day. It's good to promote the unity of the country, especially at this time where we have the tribal and religious division in the country. PDP North Central moves to replace RU Damagun with substantive chair, insists on serving out its term in office. Top corner, Daily Independent newspaper this morning, Kogi Guba. Confusion at tribunal as more SDP witnesses disown depositions. All right, and lastly, from Daily Independent newspaper, Railway Corporation generated 1.07 billion naira from passengers in Q4 of 2023.
Yeah.
This is according to the National Bureau of Statistics, and these are headlines on the front page of Daily Independent newspaper for today.
All right, and looking at the picture on the front page of the Daily Independent, Evelyn, these children have been fun, by the way, in their ages. The Punch has it as well, you know, different parks hosting different persons. Then one will say, and I'm saying this as a parent, by the way, that whatever you feel you are going through as a father or as a mother, you know, and no matter the percentage of your account balance, if you put it in a meter, 1 to 100, when it comes to things that you have to do, the children sometimes don't care. They don't know. Normally, they shouldn't even care. They don't know. I'm saying this because seeing happy children, but I wonder, the parent that brought them here, if actually they are as happy as the children
kids, right?
that are there. But it's a fun day in which you must do what you have to do. Possibly if they are returning, because you can't be at this park and you won't have something to buy for the same children for them to have a good time. But I wonder what the mood will be when they are returning home, knowing that the father or the mother, you know, has been made to part with some substantial amount of money, going back home to, you know, begin the cycle again. And just whatever a parent or you know, the parents are feeling doesn't have anything to do with these children, especially when they're in a age that they can't fathom so many things, they just want to be happy. How you do it, how you don't do it is not their issue. And that's the reality of many parents. I'm sure many parents, when they are driving by, they will just be as quiet as possible.
That's the responsibilities of being an adult, of being not just an adult, but a parent, to be able to provide.
Right.
And we should also remember that there are different worlds. For these kids, yes, they are having fun, you know, the fun of their life because their parents can afford it. There are children that actually have an idea of what's going on in the country economically because they have become adults at a very tender age, you know, providing for the family. You see them on streets hawking and all of that. Some even don't have parents. Some you see an older brother, 10 years, providing for, you know, his younger one. So this is just one world. There is another world where kids really didn't feel what Easter was like because they had nothing to eat. They had nowhere to go. It was just a regular day for them.
That's a different story for different folks. That's why we call any time of a Yuletide a time to share, to care. And not just the Yuletide. If you can, even now, even this morning, even this minute, you should to the best of your abilities so that the love can go around. And somebody said, when everybody is winning, the hate is less. It's as simple as that. We'll go on this quick break. We'll be back for the conversation. It's still Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Don't go nowhere. All right, you're welcome back. And the conversation this morning is about our nation, talking about the rule of law, governance, and, you know, a bit of politics. And this morning we'll be speaking with somebody who has been on, you know, the part, at least two of the three tiers of government, talking about the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. He has been a part of the executive in some capacity, and of course, is now part of the legislature. He has always been part in different capacities as well. We're looking at national issues, the National Assembly, especially the 10th Assembly, how it's faring, and the expectation of the people from the National Assembly, you know, what they are, the business of responsibility of oversight function, and of course, being the check and balance, you know, providing that responsibility of checking and balancing the functions or the excesses of the executive. Quite an immense responsibility the National Assembly have, from the green chamber to the red chamber, you know, and many persons are very expectant that they will deliver, especially the 10th Assembly. By the way, you'll recall many persons had their grievances with the 9th Assembly, how they operated, but then this is the 10th National Assembly, and we'll be speaking this morning with a former local government chairman. That's why I said he has had executive powers at some point, and of course, he was formerly a House of Rep member as well, and is now a senator of the Federal Republic. In fact, a very ranking one, because he's the deputy minority leader of this 10th Assembly under the presidency of His Excellency Godswill Akpabio, who will be shedding light for us, to us on these matters as well. We're speaking with Akogun Lere Oyewumi, PhD. Of course, he is our guest this morning. Dr. Akogun Olalere Oyewumi, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
All right. I must add that apart from being a ranking senator, he is the one representing the good people of Osun West at the 10th Senate as well. Thank you, Senator, for joining us. Very quickly, let me ask. In fact, before you came in, we were just through with the papers, and then in a local parlance, they will say like play. It's almost 10 months of this administration. under President Bola Tinubu, and many persons are saying it's almost 1 year, almost a quarter of the administration is gone. Under him as well, the 10th Senate is existing as well, almost 10 months of administration as well. How will you rate the performance of the current Senate, the 10th Senate, under His Excellency Godswill Akpabio, in which you are a ranking member of, your relationship with the executive and the expectation of the people under a year?
Well, thank you very much. My greetings to everybody in Osun State, Easter, and I think greet the Muslims too for the Ramadan. I pray that God Almighty will have our prayers.
Amen.
Well, as a member of the 10th Senate, you know, we are just winding up in 1 year in office. And well, from my personal assessment of the Senate in particular, I think we are not faring too badly. Judging by the circumstances of the country when we resumed in June 13 last year. You know, the function of the legislature is threefold. The first one is to make law. The second one is to oversight. And the third one is to represent. Those are the three cardinal assignments of legislature. In terms of lawmaking, the 10th Assembly has done wonderfully well, and most of some very relevant laws that we know will help to rejig the economy of Nigeria have been passed. Some are awaiting the concurrence with the House of Reps before the send of the president. Then, in terms of the existing laws, you know, the issue of amendment to Nigerian Constitution has been on course for over 20 years. But this 10th Senate, we are seriously determined to make sure that we dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and we relate very well with the state houses of assembly and other critical stakeholders to make sure that I will think with the existing constitution as amended and make sure that they are brought in tune to the realities of time and make the constitution more amenable to the wishes and aspirations of Nigeria. Yeah. We are working very hard on that because we don't want it to be very close to the end of the year before we present that to the president. So both the House of Reps and the Senate are working together very assiduously to make sure that the constitutional amendment is brought to a very good end during the 10th Senate. Apart from that, you know, when we came in, there are a lot of changes of policies and new policies that the new government started. And this put a lot of pressure on the National Assembly. A month after we resume, we have to pass a supplementary budget to give way for the palliative as a result of the removal of subsidy. And apart from that, we passed 2 supplementary budgets, and even the 2024 budget, which was presented to us in November, had to be passed in January 1. This led us working even to Sunday and abandoning public holidays just to make sure that we do not disappoint the wishes and aspirations of Nigeria. So we are not very badly, and the 10th Senate is populated by very eminent Nigerians, people who have achieved in their various fields of studies, academicians, professionals, businessmen, are all there. So I think we have the best of the hand to do the job, and we are doing our best.
All right. Yeah, having the best of the hands to do the job. You have just said you're doing your best. I know, of course, that maybe it's not too fair for me to say you should mark your own papers by yourself, but then you are the one there. You are the one representing your people, the people of Osun West, and by extension, the people of Osun State as well. So it will be a good one for them to hear from you time to time, and we will be having this conversation. But to start with, let me start from here, and that's the major concern, or that's one of the concerns of the people, that you are, at the Ninth Assembly, many persons, I said it in my introduction, weren't too comfortable that the executive had it too easy with the Ninth Assembly. Yes, many persons think it doesn't have to be fight. It doesn't have to be an aggression or, you know, being antagonistic in approach. But they felt whatever the executive brought at that time, the Ninth Assembly was just passing it. It was too easy, so to speak. There was not the principle of check and balance didn't happen. Everything the executive brought, they got. And many persons believe that is what has gotten us here, especially the huge debt burden, lack of scrutiny to some of those things that were brought by the executive then. In this 10th Assembly, Godswill Akpabio, the chairman of the National Assembly, said it's not going to be business as usual. Do you think the concern of the people that the 9th Assembly was a rubber stamp, do we have a sharp departure from that right now, or is still business as usual? Senator.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. You see, fortunately, most of the people in the 9th Assembly are still in the 10th Assembly now, including the president of the Senate, the Amela one.
Yeah.
You know, every government has its own style. This is 10th Senate. And before we started really after an election in June 13, and the principal came on board in July 4th, we sat down and then we prepared our own blueprints and modus operandi. We have a lot of people that have been sending them as there for 2 times. Some of us have been there 30 years ago. So we said we review what has happened in the past, and then we decided on our own modus operandi. And we said the 10th Assembly is not going to be a rubber stamp or yes ma'am or yes ma'am. No. We are going to do those things that we will be able to defend anywhere in the country. So, but the important thing is that I've listened to a lot of people on relationship between the executive and the legislature.
Yeah.
In some places, people expect to fight. There is only when you fight that you are doing a good job as legislator. It's not the legislature. The important thing is that, as I said the other thing, we legislate, we represent, and we oversight. If the government is doing something, as a privileged person to be the leadership, they send letter to us. Before we read it, if you look at this one is not for help the player, we have the right to tell the president, sir, this one will not fly. Let me give one example.
Yes, please.
When the issue of the day came up, and our president has just been made the chairman of Akogun. When the day problem came up, the Akogun said, you are going to war. And the nation was almost preparing for war. They called the chief of army staff, they called this one to prepare for war. And they sent the bill to us that we will stand up and say, no. We will not go to war. Nigeria is already in war. We have internal war there we are talking about. We will not go to war. You will be surprised that when the nation was brought up in the Senate, it cut across any party line. Everybody shouted at the top of their head, no, Nigeria will not go to war. Unfortunately, Nigeria cannot go to war. We have Concord. So that's why we are not going to war. But instead of passing that, we selected some of us, some leaders are not just we went to the president. I said, Mr. President, although you are the chairman of ECOWAS, but I'm telling you people, Nigeria is not going to war. And the president said, I can't do without you. And that was the end of it. The important thing is to have the right thing done. How you do it does not matter. We are mature set of people, and it belongs to all of us. So you see the president is doing something, or the executive is doing something that we feel will not be the best interest of Nigeria. There are many ways of saying no. It is when other avenues are not yielding results that result to confrontation. So we don't want to be confrontational. And at the same time, we don't want to compromise on our 3 major cardinal rules of making law, of oversight, and of implementation. That is our style, and I think it's of us.
All right, Senator, earlier on in your introductory speech, if I can put it that way, you mentioned the amendment of the Constitution, that the 10th Senate is looking at the Constitution amendment. And I understand that the Senate President has put up a 45-man committee headed by the Deputy Senate President, Barau Jibrin, for that to happen. But then, you know, according to what the Senate President said, he said in the 1999 Constitution that there were things to be put right, hence this amendment. But do you think that what Nigeria needs now is an amendment of the 1999 Constitution, or for it to be jettisoned and us drawing up another constitution entirely? Because there are people that have said that the 1999 Constitution is heavily flawed. For us to either go back to the 1963 Constitution or draw up a new constitution entirely that can work for Nigerians.
Apparently, the problem of Nigeria is not about any constitution. Let's not be realistic. We have enough laws that can make Nigerians govern in the best way. The problem we have in Nigeria are the people to implement the law. If you go to another one, I've read so many laws of various countries and constitutions. They are not principally different from what we have in Nigeria. But our attitude, there are so many laws that people will not even obey. So when we look at the children, we look at the option of having laws, the option of having different ones, we discover that what we need to of attitude, there is no law that is not find our constitution. I would say the process of amending the constitution is not that of the National Assembly. We are going to inform the critical stakeholders, we are going to inform the professionals, we are going to inform the human rights, everybody is involved. The process is very long. The National Assembly will just collate and coordinate, and then now put it in the legal frame. That is the thing. Not that we will sit down and then we discuss and then pass. No, you have a lot of input from outsiders. So all the areas where people think need amendment, they have started. You see the kind of memorandum that we have received. You know that Nigeria are interested in amending the critical part of the constitution. If it's blending new constitution now, in the next 5 years, new things will come up that will make it amending to changes. The society is very dynamic, and we have to keep on moving in tandem with the time. That's why amendment is very necessary. New things that were not foreseen during the preparation, when they come up, that's why we have not only they consider it, and then they amend to suit the new realities of time. So the issue is not to throw out all the confusion. No, we have noticed all the critical areas. They started things, then we added some, and the Nigerian Constitution, Nigerian events, our professionals, academia, all of them, we are working together with them. And we are not for public hearing. Zone by zone, state by state, also assembly will work. New president will work. They will now collect and aggregate the opinions and make sure that we have a real functioning and functional constitution that is rooted in our own culture and that can bring Nigeria to come the step of them. That's what we are planning to do.
All right, so Senator, in this constitutional amendment, because I understand that it's going to take like 2 years, the Senate President said it should end by 2026. But then, are you considering implementing some of the recommendations in the 2014 National Confab done under the administration of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan?
Yes. So that's a good question. We have collected the document.
Okay.
And most of the memorandum that are submitted to us, some of them are things from that. Some of them are things from that. You can see that the Ohiolei report now, which has been made part of food, is not brought to the topic. That is the other example of the kind of thing that we expect. Most of the things that have been discussed during the compact that we know that the government here will be factored to the constitution. That is it. Those are part of the plan. I want to do everything within the first 1 year. We collect all the memorandum with our own idea. Then we pass the public hearing.
Okay.
After the public hearing, then the House of Assembly, everything within 2 years. So that after 2 years, before we get to the end of the term of the president, we want to lay for signature.
All right. Since we are on the Constitution, I'll just stay with that. I'm sure you must have heard very controversial bill sponsored by 60 lawmakers in the House of Representatives proposing constitutional alterations for a transition to parliamentary government, system of government. The bill has actually passed the first reading, saying that this presidential system of government that we are operating is not working for us as a country. So there is need for us to go back to what we did, what we operated in our early years after independence. I'd like to know, your view on this. Do you think it's something that is workable? Do you think our presidential system of governance is flawed? Do you think we need to go back to parliamentary system of governance to make Nigeria work again?
Nigeria has tried it. We were called about doing the president. I don't belong in that school at all. And everybody is entitled to his opinion. I still believe that presidential system of government is better compared to all other options. But they are entitled to their own opinion. Let them do their own work and move their members, their Congress. If we have majority, let them pass it. Then they come and authority to set it.
You don't think it's too expensive to run?
I don't see that opinion as a person.
Akogun, you don't think it's too expensive to operate? People have said the presidential system of government is too expensive to operate.
Every good thing is expensive. It is not that. When we are in school, they said if the president is expensive, they just try ignorance. So that is not the issue.
All right, Senator, staying with Constitution and, the workability of it, especially the need for you to have the semblance of the kind of laws that can take care of our current day challenges, because that is very important as well. You said it the other time that Constitution is not the problem of Nigeria, that it is the people that runs this law that, make use of this law. But I beg to differ a bit, Akogun, that maybe there are some, laws that need serious look, really. And I'll give you one. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Section 44, subsection 3, and Item 39, Schedule 2 of the exclusive legislative list vests the control and management of the natural resources and hydrocarbon operations on the federal government for the common good and benefit of the citizens. Senator, you know, this is it. Exclusive list, the mineral resources, hydrocarbon, everything on it belongs to the federal government. But ironically, the land in which has these things belongs to the state government. So the federal government doesn't have a land anywhere. Under the Land Use Act, the state government has all the land. So, but whatever is on the land belongs to the federal government. Isn't that an irony? Now we are working towards practicing a true federalism. Isn't that a problem?
These are part of the thing that we're talking about. You see, if you have laid your hand on Petroleum Industry Act, if you have laid your hand on it and you read it, you will see a lot of areas that is a correlation to the second also you have just made.
Yeah.
Before that of Petroleum Industry Act, there was Mineral Resources Development Commission. So these are part of the memorandum that submitted to us. That's why I said the issue is not about new constitution. You have specific issue in the past.
Yeah.
Most of the mineral resources that we are now exploring are not identified. Now a lot of states where you don't think they can get petroleum like everything, where you don't think they can have those that are happening. And when new things are coming up like that, laws must change to capture the reality and imagine the development of this area. You understand?
Yes.
A lot of states, even in the Middle Belt now, are now having oil. A lot of states are now having waste. So in the course of the new amendments now, all these ones will be amended to make sure that the host community and the area where this material are produced have the highest benefit. And this can come from any individual. It can even come from you.
Yeah.
When you bring ideas, you got the brand of summit, they just aggregate, put out opinion, and go back to public hearing. And don't forget, whatever we do as matter, if you go back to the order and say, for concurrence, because we are signed. So it's everybody's business. As you know, the guy is coming their side. So because they know how to all of us, one of us must be interested, let's put ideas together, for whatever you have to work. We will think, look at it together, we aggregate it, give it out to the people, seek their opinions before they come for the final conclusion.
Yeah. All right. Senator, quickly, let's speak to more specific matters now, because we have a long way to go. Whenever we have someone of your stature, we will always make sure use of the opportunity to ask everything, quote unquote, askable. Now, recently, Nigeria as a nation was thrown into this frenzy, especially with what happened at the National Assembly when one of your colleagues, although suspended now, Senator Ningi, had an interview with a news station and said some things. So after that, it was like all hell broke loose, because especially when the plenary was held, you and your colleagues, you are a ranking member, your colleagues in the Nigerian Senate frowned at what Senator Ningi said, that it wasn't true, and it was about the budget, that maybe there are different documents of budget we are running. The Senate spoke on it and said that is not true. Whatever was done in that house, called the budget, that was sent to Mr. President for assent, is what Nigeria is running. And so since then, there have been many revelations. But I'd like to ask you, as the Deputy Minority Leader, that you are a ranking member, what was the grounds of the Senate with Senator Ningi? Because here, I can tell you at least what is happening on the street, what people are saying in different parts of the country, especially in Osun State here. Many persons felt you, the Senate, felt Senator Ningi threw you, the entire institution, under the bus. That whatever challenge, whatever thing he has discovered, he could have spoken with the leadership of the House before granting that interview, and that maybe there are some things he wasn't supposed to say that are very incriminating. That is why you let your fury, against Senator Ningi, and at the end of the day, he has been suspended. What is the grounds of the Senate with Senator Ningi, actually?
Well, very good. If you listen to Senator Ningi very well, his grounds to be captured in three perspectives.
Okay.
In the first instance, he said the budget is not favor the North. He said he was speaking as the chairman of Northern Senators Forum. That was the first half of the case. He said it was skewed not in favor of the North. They were asking to prove it. They could not prove it. Then later, he said the minority leadership were imposed that they didn't allow the Northern Fulani to head the minority group. We there to prove. Then the third one, he said they are operating two budgets, 125 trillion, 128 trillion. We there to this document. We have had several meetings before that day. It keeps on going from one person to another. And we never have the document. We say how the document. I just want the document to us. If you don't document to us, I will see. If you want to go to the plenary, I will defend it. He didn't give anybody. Then he said he wanted to see the new president. Then we participated in the meeting. He met the state president. He said the 2024 budget did not report the North. President said, prove it. He said he has evidence. President said, bring the evidence. He said, okay, we will bring it. That was no problem. When we bring it, we will discuss it, and then we go to the shop. The next thing we saw was that he went to the BBC Hausa, and they started giving all of us. Then that when when we brought the matter to plenary, he didn't want us to discuss it in the open. They wanted us to go to the executive. We said, no. This matter is already decided to me. Let us have a full life coverage for discussion so that you cannot be government here. Let us present government here. Then when it was given the example, he started saying that some senators have 100 million projects, some senators have 2 million projects. So where are you about this matter? It is people at times, because of the complaints of the gas price, it's very easy to blackmail. I saw that thing as a very cheap blackmail. One blackmail on the leadership of the minority who are not, nobody has speak of, nobody is supposed of. But because I were elected, the minority members signed for us. We have 39 members, 42 signed for us. Before the Senate president announced, maybe was interested, he didn't show that, he didn't pass, so it cannot go for the one not going to. So that is one area that we talk, and I have to stand up and tell him that by the time we have a vote to be the minority leader, you sign for him yourself. 2 paragraphs was devoted to the minority leadership. So it is not everything that you get what you want. If you don't get what you want, that does not mean you have to start blackmailing the system.
Yeah.
So it's an unproven allegation anywhere. It's an unproven allegation. The president brought 27.5 billion budget to national. But when we started looking at it, we saw that some agencies underestimated their performance in terms of ideas. We will get more ideas from them. Then equally, the dollar to naira ratio brought the president was too low. We just got back up, and then we increased the budget and the revenue allocation and the generation of those agencies. That's why we realized about 1.2 trillion that we added to it to 28.7. That's simple.
All right.
And
yes,
we don't now know where 25, 28 budget came about. And we all them, I'm a member of the application committee.
Yeah.
So it's only the member of the application committee. So we even know what other things in terms of what happened to the passage of the budget. You start more than 15 times as a committee before we brought it to the general house. So if you have any questions there, you will have raised the question out. If you are in out, so you don't participate in something and now come out to criticize because you are looking for public statement. It doesn't work. It is the highest lawmaking body you have in the country.
Yeah.
So you don't just stand up and start laughing and say you want to go country. No. You know the rule more than that. This is a new senator. You can say, okay, let's do someone that are moving. The majority is at the fall. So in terms of positive, I think you have gone past that one.
All right. Senator, pardon me, you said the other time that one of the allegations is the fact that he alleged, by the way, is an allegation in which you have said there is no proof because you asked him severally by him, that's the suspended Senator Ningi, saying the budget didn't favor the North. And I remember that during that time, the controversy that broke out at the plenary, your fellow ranking colleague, Senator Oyewumi Bamidele from Ekiti State, stood up and said maybe what Senator Ningi was doing was a calculated attempt to remove the leadership of the House because they didn't want somebody from the South, and they wanted to just give problem because a Southern leadership is at the helm of affairs. And it was very categorical and firm. That was what Senator Oyewumi Bamidele said. And he said, this thing should not go unpunished. Now, I want to ask you, Akogun, it seems like there is sectionalizing of the National Assembly, or let me say the Senate, because many persons will say, are we in the era of northernization and southernization of the National Assembly because somebody is from a particular place, the other person from the other part will not support? Are we regionalizing the leadership and the formation and the workings of the very important work that senators are meant to do, especially in this assembly?
You see, you have answered the question yourself. And that was the first thing that destroyed the statement that I made. The first statement he used was sectionalization. He said he's going to talk as chairman of Northern Senators Forum. And that this budget is not supported enough. From that statement, he got it wrong. Even if he was saying the right thing, he had said that no from the South is not supported. Unfortunately for him, people from the South started talking one by one that they disputed themselves for what he was saying. The leaders were there. More than 7, the senator was calling them state by state. And they all dissociated themselves from the statement. Everybody. The leader said it was easy for himself. They will say you are from South Central. You cannot dream of something of Evelyn or Kaduna. So you can see that nothing was free for things. Because that's why I cannot fly. So when you see things that are free for things like that, it's not complex to different interpretations. That's why you cannot start thinking of political consideration. Maybe you want to do this, maybe you want to do this, maybe that you cannot rationalize the essence of that output. You cannot rationalize all. It's very of parliamentary. And that's why it went below the level. So you cannot rule out with labor because you cannot see the premise of what an action at all.
All right, Senator Lere Oyewumi. Now, you've talked about the politics of what Senator Ningi, did. But let's look at the substance of the allegation, Senator, now, because if you would recall, on that same day in plenary when Senator Ningi was suspended, we had Senator Agam Jaribe representing Cross River, Rivers North, saying that, we can't actually heap all the blames on Senator Ningi. He actually also pointed to the fact that some ranking senators got 500 million naira that he didn't get. Those were some matters that brewed out of that controversy at the time. But then I'd like to look at a document shared by Budget when this issue came up. Senator, can I finish with this? I want to read out a document by Budget. So you can answer it in totality. Now, according to Budget, it says that the National Assembly inserted a total of 7,447 projects totaling 2.24 trillion naira in the 2024 budget. That they also noticed that 281 projects worth 491 billion naira and 3,706 projects ranging from 100 million to 500 million naira worth 759 billion naira were inserted into the budget. Now, 55 projects with cumulative value of 580.7 billion naira cost at least 5 billion naira each. Now, it said, this is from Budget, that the National Assembly has indiscriminately added projects to the budget, with most of the projects not contributing to Nigeria's broader development strategy and goal. Senator Oyewumi, I need you to respond to that, because I saw the document and I saw a whole lot of some of these projects that we didn't see the actual narration of what it's to be used for. Ambiguity. And, the ambiguousness, the ambiguity rather, of this project. How do you react to this, that Budget is saying that the National Assembly has indiscriminately inserted some projects, over 7,000 projects into the budget, 2024 budget?
That's a very good question. If you don't ask that question, I will say it myself.
All right. Okay.
If there's any good thing that the National Assembly has come up in the future years, it was this issue of the constituency project. If you must listen. And let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
The budget is a public document that anybody can buy on the road. All the projects that are in the budget, other constituency projects, are independent. Spread all over the 280 agencies of the government for implementation. Let me give an example. When I was campaigning my secretariat, I went with video and camera to record the request of my people. And when I finished, when I won the election, I started. I categorized most of what they wanted into 4 categories. 1, road. 2, school buildings. 3 is transformers. Almost everywhere, almost every community wants transformer, then health centers. These are the physical aspects of what they requested. Now, during the budget, in the budget brought by the federal government, in the 27.5 billion budget provided by the federal government of Nigeria, I did not see where they put only one transformer as interest. I did not see where, apart from the money they give to Subel, generally, for the year, which Subel do not take 1 family school, 2 family school. There is no specific fund for the schools. So it is what the was given to the senators and the rest. We have now satisfied of this peculiar needs of our area. The federal government is too large. Even the state don't know the state are doing comprehensive projects. The states out of assembly have their comprehensive projects. Go and find out, you are there no state. They've just given them their comprehensive project that was part of our 24 budget. In the budget was something about that is plotted. Let me tell you, my electoral district this year now, we are getting 3 transformers in the field and getting 14 transformers that is captured in this budget in my electoral district. I am building 15 blocks of 4 classrooms in my central district in this year in the budget. And I'm planning 7 kilometers of road in my central district in this year's budget. I have about 1,000 solar poles in my central district captured in this budget. All these are spread out. The location, the amount, everything is something in the budget. One is, would they put the transformer in I will be my phone. You see, these are the good things that people think. What they say, they are interested, they don't send it over 500. This is their money. It's a project now. I wanted to spend 4 years, come back without having anything to show that they have done. I think what you'll be interested in is that go and look at this document. Look at what each senator or each rep put in their strategy and find out at the end of the year whether they were implemented or not. I think that is the issue. If you listen to Open Bele, that's what one decides. He said, my people, in this strategy, in this prayer conscience, what do the budget? Find down what your rep or senate have in the budget. At the end of the year, find out whether they were implemented or not. No, they are not implemented. Cry out. That is what you do. That's what the budget is a working document. You will not even implement anything that is there. Because you can have plenty of funds and other circumstances. So the one people say it's like the governor go to Abuja for revenue mobilization for money every month. I think whatever allocation given to their state, they go to their pocket. Or allocation go to local government monthly, go to their pocket. Is it true? But you know the nature of legislature, we are representative of the people. If you go to Abuja, nobody can go to the Aso. But when you come to National Assembly, when you get to the gate, they just call your senator. What the senator says, my people, you are working there, it's like nothing. That's why people throw back here and there from the legislators. We are used to it, it's part of our business. Then we need to explain. And you need to listen to us when we explain. You have to believe us. It's not everyone that is a thief. I'm not a thief. My people know me very well. The local government chairman. I'm a contented human being. When they ask you to do something, I do it.
All right. Senator, now the bone of contention here is not with the monies really allocated to the project, but because it's the fact that the constituency projects were cited under the budget of ministries, departments, and agencies. This is outside of the 100 billion naira allocated to senators as constituency projects.
You don't know the process.
Please tell us the process.
The budget of the ministry. The ministry do their own budget and they submit to National Assembly. What they are bringing down to National Assembly, it doesn't contain the constituency project at all. We prepare our constituency project our own side. Then we submit them to the application committee. The application committee will now look at the nature of the project is one. If it is school building, they will take it to educational agency. If it is power, they will take it to our electrification agency. If it is road, they will take it to Ministry of Work or FEMA. They spread it across all the NGAs. That is their own problem. They will now say, they will now give you the list of where your project are domiciled. That is it, so that you can monitor it in the decision. The award of the contract, the monitoring, the responsibility of the agency, then they give you the list and the agency, so that you can monitor. That's all.
Okay.
That is how to do it. The ministry and agencies, they know their project. And they know when to add project to their ministry. They know because it has a different code on the budget.
All right.
So no confusion.
All right. Senator, quickly, we have other things to say. But before I leave this budget matter, the ambiguity that my colleague Evelyn was asking about is what is worrying some persons to say it should have been clear. And let me give you an example, Akogun. Under this year budget, under the ministry, secretary to the government of the federation, the MDA name is National Arch Commission of Nigeria. There is the code there, and the project is provision of services at the National Arch Commission of Nigeria, NACON. Approved budget is 1 billion naira. And many persons are wondering, why should the office of the secretary to the government of the federation be supervising such a project? And the MDA is National Arch Commission. Many of it, because of time, I don't want to reel it out. Border Community Development Agency. The supervisor is secretary to the government of the federation. Rehabilitation. In fact, there is one that is called Training of Traditional Rulers on Peace and Security in Ikeja, Federal Constituency. And it's the office of the SGF that is supervising 614 million naira. These are the issues, Senator, to say what concerns the office of the SGF with training traditional rulers. And if there is any traditional rulers to be trained, Senator, why should it be traditional rulers in Ikeja? Yes.
You know, why you are speaking like this, when you mention the office of SGF,
yes, Senator,
you are looking at it as one man.
No, I'm talking about the office.
You are looking at the president of the secretary.
No.
There are division of offices and labor, which is done by the civil servants. That's why it's not the function of the national assembly.
Yeah.
Each office of NGF, even office of the people of that, they have areas that they are captured under their ministry. That's why it's done by the head of service. It's not our own job. Then we have the list of the agencies that are being controlled by them. And those agencies we are talking about, the NGF is just their list. They have their directors and deputy directors of prison MDAs under them. But even when you go to the state secretary, you have some agencies under them. It's not that the executive of the government is just going to sign paper and take it to government. No.
Senator, if I may, yes, sir. If I may quickly butt in. Yes.
The agency that is supervised.
All right.
It's not there as individual.
All right.
In the office of the NGA, you have about the level, you have about 5 permanent executives, you have about the level directors and deputy directors of various agencies you are talking about.
All right, Senator.
It's the whole ministry on the table when you get to the office of NGA.
All right, but we are talking about. Yes, sir. Sorry, so Senator.
They are put under their control. It is the head of service.
All right. One would say the use of the Nigerian patrimony, people's resources, that, you know, and that's why I mentioned that particular project. Why should the federal government, through these agencies and ministries, supervisions, use 614 million naira of Nigerian money to train traditional rulers on peace, what's it called? On peace and security in Ikeja, in Lagos? What's that for? Senator, are you with us? All right, we might have to reconnect with the senator. We have a long way to go. on this matter. Yeah, the senator has been able, in his words, to explain that maybe it's not the personality involved. We are not even talking about the personality. We're talking about the office of the ministry, and everybody involved in this matter, to say the way the fund is being utilized, for what purpose? Is there a value for money? 614.245, 614,245,840 for peace and security in Ikeja, in Lagos. Does that mean it involves traditional rulers in that particular constituency, or is that constituency that we host, all the traditional rulers in Nigeria on their training, and these?
And we might also want to ask, what is the level of insecurity in Ikeja?
Yeah.
If it were to be somewhere in the northeast, somewhere in the northwest, as somewhere that we know that the insecurity there is high, probably it's needed.
And
but Ikeja, Lagos,
Evelyn, so that we are even clear, training of traditional rulers on peace and security in Ikeja federal constituency.
You get, so that is just one federal constituency using over 600 million naira to train the obas on peace and security.
Yeah.
So what happens to the obas in Borno? I mean the emirs in Borno, to the kings and the obas
in Yobe,
so
in Benue.
We need to put this thing plain, and that is where accountability, transparency, and honesty comes in. It's not bad that people want to know why. What is the reason for the training of this Oba? Is it that
expedient?
Exactly. Is it that the Ikeja federal constituency has an issue of insecurity? The people are not living, in
communal
peace
clashes,
and all of that. So we've had communal clashes in Osun State. We've had communal clashes in other states. In fact, we still have one now with what is going on in Delta State.
All right, Senator, are you with us now, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Many questions to ask, but Senator Ningi has been said that by the Senate President when he was coming back from his meeting in Switzerland, where he went to represent the National Assembly, that he will be rescinded. How early? Because there is a litigation process from Mr. Femi Falana against the National Assembly that is giving you people 7 days that Ningi should be reinstated. But when former Governor Akpabio came back, he said the process is on to have him, recalled. How early will that be?
Falana is a human rights activist and lawyer.
That's right.
He likes to say whatever he wants to say. That is his own opinion.
Yeah.
That is not part of Senate rules. The Senate has suspended him, and if we resume on 16, I will tell him to recording him. It's not because of any matter.
Okay.
That we can adjust our rule. We can make rule anytime. You can suspend it. You can change it. So that depends on how we feel about it. So it's an internal matter of the Senate.
All right.
No, it's not pressure. Pressure from anybody does not affect us in the Senate.
All right.
Yes. Our rules.
Yes. Senator, talking about constitution.
Let me say one thing.
Yes, please.
The person is saying he's going to sue Akpabio. That's misnomer. It's not Akpabio that suspended Ningi. It's the Senate.
I think he sued the National Assembly.
But
if Akpabio wants Ningi back, as the Senate member said no, there's nothing they can do. If Akpabio said he doesn't want Ningi back, and member said they want him back, he cannot stop it. So it's wrong to say somebody wants to sue Akpabio.
Senator, I should put here that Femi Falana, SAN, wrote that letter in the capacity as the lawyer to Senator Abdul Ningi. Senator Abdul Ningi is a client of Femi Falana. So he's not writing as just a human rights activist. He's writing in the capacity of a counsel to Senator Abdul Ningi, because according to him, the Senate had no right to suspend him. So he's not writing as just an ordinary Nigerian, as you posited earlier.
You know where he says now.
Yeah.
When we resume, let us see that letter, and the Senate will respond appropriately.
All right. Quickly, talking about constituency projects, Senator Abaribe, has confirmed that, yes, constituency project fund, what a region gets sometimes is different from what another region gets. And Senator Jaribe said that ranking members got 500 million naira, in which he didn't get. So let me ask you, Senator Akogun, Lere, Oyewumi, what have you, as a ranking member, what have you done So the people of a constituency with your own 500 million naira.
Listen, you didn't listen to Jaribe very well at all.
Okay, please.
When Jaribe was responding to what Ningi said, and Jaribe said Ningi came to him that some ranking senators, including himself, Ningi, collected 500 million projects only. He was telling Jaribe that the 500 million project was small for him.
All right.
Then Jaribe, who is a second timer in the Senate, now said, me that you are talking to, I did not get such. Why are you complaining? That was what Jaribe said. That you could not listen to him. Then the budget was passed in January. You see, do you see when they pass the budget, they give 500 million to senators to go and do whatever they like. Nobody gave us any money. The projects are still in the ministry. They will not start the project. They will go advertise. Contractors will go and bid. They will award the contract. They will release the money first back.
Yeah.
The project will start. And when they are completed, they will pay the contractor.
Senator, are you saying you have not received any
budget in January?
Are you saying you have not released any money? Received any money?
Nowhere. I swear by it.
All right. As you round off, yeah.
Go and find out.
All right. You are here. You are even telling us.
We are now.
Yes.
The problem we are now is that some agencies have started advertising. That is the process now. You have some of the agencies in Osun State there.
All right.
So only 5% is there in Osun State.
All right.
Go there and find out.
Yes, we understand.
It's work of national agency.
Yes, we will always would like to have you again very soon to talk about different matters, especially at the home front. But we will round off without me asking you this question. There was a time that it was reported that you are nursing a governorship ambition come 2026. Are you still having that ambition?
You see, you don't change a winning team.
Okay.
In Osun State, we have one family and we have one leader.
All right.
Senator Ademola Adeleke is our governor, performing wonderfully well. He's my leader.
All right.
And I've thrown my weight behind him 101%.
Okay.
All right.
That is the truth. Because he's doing well. He's doing very, very well. So the astonishment of many people. So we don't do that in PDP. I'm from a politically cultured environment.
All right.
And don't forget one thing that I say anywhere.
Yes.
I don't support my benefactor. You know? And the Adeleke family put me where I am today. They are the one God used to make me senator.
Right.
Because when I joined their group for Ademola as governor, I was a contestant before.
All right.
They promised to give me senatorial ticket. And they stood by it.
All right.
And they funded it.
All right.
And I am today.
All right. Good to know.
I can never, and I will never contest governorship election with Senator Ademola Adeleke.
That's good to know. Akogun, Lere, Oyewumi, you know, many things to say, just like I said, local government administration is there, development in Osun State is there. Maybe in a few days from now, we get to have you so that we leave Abuja matter and talk about issues in Osun State.
No problem.
And I hope you will oblige us as well.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for a beautiful job.
Akogun Lere Oyewumi is the Deputy Minority Leader, Assistant Senate. He has been local government chairman. He has served in different capacities. Thank you for your time as well. Evelyn. All
right, Senator, it will be good to have you back. We appreciate your time. It's been a delightful conversation with you this morning. Enjoy your day.
My regards to everybody.
All right, that's the conversation there. It's, you know, a great one to have Senator Lere Oyewumi with us in the studio. No, virtually, not in the studios, virtually with us. But that's the conversation. You can watch a recap of this exciting conversation on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. You can connect with us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Western Spring Television. Let us know what you think about this discussion that we had today. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, and I definitely will remind you to stay tuned for Spring Trends coming right after this broadcast.
All right, Femi Ojo is my name. God willing, we'll be back same time, same station. God bless Nigeria.